Survivor Series is right around the corner, and I brought in two experts to help me break down some betting odds for you and some input on how storylines are going. I'm hyped to get it right here on Popcorn and Root Beer. Quiet on set. It's time to get started.
Grab your popcorn, dim the lights. It's movie time, we're taking flight.
Now get the cards, the darts from my generation. I'll take the come on, let's get it on. Get the lots, the money, we're in this together and do it all. They said that nothing's forever and they refuse to see the change in me. Why won't they wake up?
Welcome, one and all, to another episode of Popcorn and Root Beer. I am super excited. Let's get us all back in the right places, though, shall we?
There we go. The banner is
good and
all in
pretty.
my face, but that's okay.
Yeah, it was all over the place, but I had to fix it. I don't know why it disappeared on us, but I'm excited to be here with you guys. My name is Steve. I am your host for Popcorn and Root Beer, and as you can tell, Trash Sandwiches and Jake Perry are not with me today, but I am joined by two WWE experts, big fans, and they're going to help me give you guys the rundown on how this is all going to go. And they need no introductions. They are famous in their own right on Twitter. If you follow us, you probably follow them, but I'm paid to introduce them. So I'm going to start with the man who is part of the IBT family, Rod Villagomez. Rod, what's going on, man? How are you?
So listen, I was hyped already to jump onto this show with you, but when that intro got interrupted, that was straight fire. Oh my God.
Thank you.
Woo!
Thank you. I worked my ass off on that one. That one was like, I was hyped. I was hyped for that one. I was like, you know what? I want to do something different. And I loved that Raw intro back in the day. That's the one like I grew up on. And Luke, were you a Raw fan back when?
Dude, I'm a very new WWE fan. I didn't even start watching until WrestleMania 39. Seriously,
Wow.
that's when I first started watching wrestling.
That's what
I
got
never
you into
watched
it, though.
What do you say?
But that's what got you into it, though. So that's great.
Yeah.
It's always interesting to find out like where people started. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I literally was just like on Twitter one day, and I was in college at the time. I was kind of just like chilling with my friend, and I was like, let's just toss this on, see what's going on. And I was just like very entertained. The first match I think I remember watching was, I don't even remember the match. I remember the main event with Roman and Cody, but I don't remember any matches before that. But I remember seeing Edge's entrance with the giant wings and like the glass, like,
Yeah.
the disco ball thingy out on stage with all the fire, like the Brood Edge entrance or whatever. And I was
Yeah.
okay, this is cool. And I kind of just like was, I was laughing, I was entertained. And then I got the WWE video game after that because I was like, let's do this. And I started learning the lore and everything. And I just got into it. And I've been a big fan since. Huge fan. I follow the product pretty closely.
That is amazing. Rod, do you remember like what got you into wrestling? Who got you into wrestling? Like, was there a wrestler that you were like, I mean, you came up kind of in the Hulkamania era, right? So were you like captured by Hulk Hogan?
So it's funny because for me, my Uncle Fred was a guy that got me into a lot of my stuff early in the, like, I stayed up late to watch SNL. He let me watch wrestling. Like, he was huge into wrestling. And I remember watching all of the Saturdays and all of the, everything that Hulk did. And really, to me, I loved it all, right? It was all great. And I loved watching it with it. But when Undertaker hit the scene, that, my friends, is when the whole game changed for me, because I was like, whoa. What is this? This is amazing. I mean, again, I watched all of the old Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Yokozuna. Right. Like, that was my era. And I watched it all, especially the Saturday morning cartoons that had them all on there. Like, yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing to be a WWF fan back then. But
back in the day, before the damn World Wildlife Foundation came along and ruined everything for everyone.
That actually is hilarious. I actually did not know that. I mean, I knew about WWF and changing the name to WWE and whatever, but I didn't know the lore behind the reason for the name change until I think it came out in the Mr. McMahon Netflix doc I watched. Either that, or I don't know if I just like saw it on TikTok or something one day, but I didn't know that was the reason. But it's like so ridiculous. That's the reason the name changed.
It is crazy. For all of you guys listening to us either live here with us or on the recording, comment below what got you into wrestling. And if you're new, please consider liking, subscribing to the whole channel. We can get more entertainment stuff from me, more NASCAR stuff from Rod, plenty of other stuff from Rod. He's on here whenever we have to talk WWE. Maybe you'll see Luke again on here too on occasion.
Would love to come back.
You'd never know. Well, let's have you sit through a show first before you commit to that, because you have to deal with me hosting. And some people just don't survive that. If you aren't new and you are subscribed, please don't unsubscribe. I promise I'm only here once a week. You don't have to put up with me all that often. But the rest of the team is really good. Today, we are going to break down some Survivor Series odds. We're also going to talk the John Cena last time is now tournament and some betting odds on that. And then we're going to get into some fun hot take stuff that I want to get Luke and Rod's opinion on, because I just love to stir the pot so much. But Rod, I do have to ask. So it was Taker for you, right? That's kind of who got you locked in. Luke, was there someone at WrestleMania that locked you in? Like, was it Edge or was it like Roman?
I'm a Roman guy, man. I love him. I don't know if I can cuss on here. I love Roman Reigns. He's awesome.
You can.
Great. Love that. No, but seriously, he is amazing. I think he's a fantastic wrestler. I honestly am a little disappointed that I missed him like full time with the Tribal Chief character. It kind of sucks I missed that. He's very part-time nowadays, but God, I love it. I think that he's a fantastic wrestler. I actually went to the Rumble this year in Indy with my dad, and it was really cool to see him alive. So I was really
That is awesome. I went to one Rumble in my life. Oh, I'll answer my own question. Sting was actually the guy who got me into wrestling.
Oh, cool.
I was a WCW kid, if you can believe that, Rod. Like, I was actually like, I came up in the 90s during the Monday Night Wars, and my older cousins watched, for some reason, WCW over WWF. I don't know why. Probably because our parents wouldn't let us watch WWF at the time, because, you know, Sable was flashing her tits out for everyone to look at.
Steve, fun fact, actually, my dad's not a big wrestling fan nowadays. Like, he like kind of likes it. Like I said, like we went to the Rumble and stuff. And he just doesn't watch. But he was also a WCW guy, and he loved the OG NWO. Like, that was like his favorite.
Yeah. So that's kind of when I got into it, and I really fell in love with Sting because he was like this outlaw, like kind of anti-hero to the Wolf Pack. But I am super excited. How do you guys feel, before we dive into the categories, before we dive into the odds, all this stuff, how do you guys feel about the product as it stands right now? Because I feel like this needs addressing. Triple H is kind of under some scrutiny right now. People aren't loving what Triple H is putting out.
Yeah.
You're at, it's fine. Like,
it's okay. Like, I think that the thing that a lot of, I mean, I haven't been around that long, but the best product that I've watched by far was the build, and the payoff at WrestleMania 40 was incredible. Whole road to WrestleMania and WrestleMania 40 was outstanding. I do think that he does deserve some criticism right now, honestly, for his booking of the champions, mostly. It's like you win a title and then you just like disappear. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I think his whole thing is like, if you're a champion, you should have that kind of, when you make an appearance, it means something kind of deal. I think Cody is the only one who's like, I mean, and Punk now, I guess, are like really around. The US Open title challenge has been really good recently. I think that's been good turn. But especially like, Julia's US women's title reign was a horrible flop. She was supposed to be a huge hot star coming out, and she still is amazing, but she just was not booked well at all. I think that's honestly my biggest criticism is that. And I mean, new interesting champs right now, but the Raw tag division has also been atrocious. And then the lack of just content in general in SmackDown's been pretty bad, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's been a little rough. Rod, do you think Hunter's been doing a good job? Do you think his stuff he needs to work on? And do you feel kind of bad for Luke? Because I feel like he kind of came into it probably at the best storyline WWE's ever had in terms of the bloodline and Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, that build up, that had everybody on the edge of their seats. But
that was incredible.
Yeah. Here's the thing about it, though. Think about how long this product has been around. Think about how many different people we've had come through. Think about how much they've had to continue to recycle, because let's face it, guys, there's only so many storylines that you can come up with in the world of wrestling, right? I mean, it's all of the same thing. You build up, you fight, and then you have to do it again, right? You have to reconstruct it, and you have to find new ways to make new rivalries. And there's only so many people on the roster that you can really support to be the main folks, where everybody else is just support. Like, I tell you what, and now Hunter doesn't have what Vince had back then, which was basically everybody had their attention at one thing at one time. Now, you're spread across everything, right? You've got NXT, you've got Raw, you've got SmackDown, you've got these Saturday night things. there's so much to keep up with, and there's so much, and fans demand that there's so much to keep up with that
Right.
I don't know how anybody does it, to be honest with you,
It's
at all.
tough.
You know,
It's
and then
tough.
now
A
he's
lot of
got John Cena announcing that he's going. He's got to
Right.
handle that now. You know,
Yeah.
it's a lot.
Can I say, and tell me if you guys think I'm wrong with this? I think the product is always weaker when faces have the titles.
That's a fair opinion. I mean, I don't hate that take.
I think it's always more exciting to watch the face chase than have it. And I think fans turn on faces quickly, right? When they're the champion, they don't want them to be the champion because now they're being shoved down our throats, right? Like Cody, everyone wanted him to finish the story. The second that man became champion, they were like, Cody's reign sucks.
I
Time to get the
honestly
title off
think
of
that
Cody.
I honestly think they've done a pretty good job with Cody. Like I think that like
I
fans
know
still
they've
love
done
Cody. They
fine.
haven't
They've done
turned
a
on
good
him.
job with him.
And in general, like he's done a decent job. I think that honestly, some of the other championship reigns of what's been hurting, in my opinion, like especially like the mid card, I think it's been pretty bad.
I think wrestling fans as a whole are sadists and like to be upset.
I
And
agree.
so they want the heel champion. Like John Cena was always at his best, I thought, when he was chasing Edge or Orton. Right? You always cheered for him to win, but then once he won, you're like, all right, we need a new villain. So I think that's kind of where I would have gone with that. And I actually almost did a segment on this. I almost asked you guys, like, if there was a storyline you could write, like, go back, I'd give you as much time as you needed, and you could use anybody. Like, have you ever thought to yourself, like, I have a storyline that would have crushed TV? Like, I'm a story writer. Like, Rod knows this about him. I write all day long. I write for IBT. I write, like, fiction. I do this stuff. I had this storyline. I want to pitch it to you guys and tell me if this would have worked. After WrestleMania 40, Roman's gone. And it creates this power vacuum at the top of the heel food chain. And every heel in WWE, all like the top 15 of them, start going rogue and attacking everybody. Like it looks like an absolute massacre every week. And it's created this void where like 5 of them come out on top. And it's like McIntyre or in this one. And they're all vying to be the new Roman, right? And it culminates at Survivor Series that year where 5 legendary faces come together to try to like thwart this uprising. And in the end, the heels win the WarGames match. And I'm talking, it's like Cena, Cody, name them, right? Like right down the line, like the biggest faces you can think of, even like guys who have retired, even to bring some back. And the heels win, and that establishes like 5 new heels. That would have been the storyline I would have written for WWE.
I like
Yeah,
it.
it's
I'd
fine.
watch that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and then I think I probably would have brought Roman back, like when this like new heel was crowned, or at some moment, and Roman comes back to feud
Dude,
with them.
I honestly think they need to put the world heavyweight title on Roman. Like bad. I'm here for it. He needs gold again.
I think we need to get rid of the world heavyweight title as well.
I love it. I think it's great. I personally think that. I mean, Cody. I think the real problem is there's no brand split. Honestly, I think that
No, but that's the thing. If there's no brand split, why do we have 2 world champions? There should be one. I think that's always more exciting. If there's no brand split, it's like there's this one guy, and that it gives you so much more room to work with.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Because
I think
inevitably
it
creates a power dynamic, right? Like
feuds with the 2 world titles. I think they need a brand split. They need the brand split harder.
Do you view the world title, the world heavyweight championship, and the WWE championship? Do you guys view them as the same, or do you?
No,
view
the
Cody's
WWE
as,
title.
Like, this one
Cody's
is, and then this
belt
one's
is
down
definitely
here.
the A belt.
Yeah, so why have to?
I do think they did a pretty good job of building the new world title though, to where it does mean something.
Did.
Like I think that does feel like world title material to me though too. I also think they just need to put the strap on McIntyre. Like I don't know what they're waiting for, dude. They continue to screw him, but I think he should have beat Cody. I forget what it was recently. They had a match recently, but he should have won that match.
I'll add that I'm glad that they introduced more titles to the women's division too. Like I'm glad that they sort of let that develop as well, because I feel like there were women down the roster that needed to have a little more light, because even since the Diva days, right? It was just hard with Trish Stratus being so dominant, and like you know, it's that all these dominant women and only one title, really 2 titles to have. I'm glad they sort of split that up too.
Chelsea Green is the perfect United States champion. I love her so much. She's one of my favorite wrestlers right now.
I like her a lot. Even as a person, she seems cool. But
she seems fantastic.
We need to get into some betting odds. So let's hit that drop. It's not nearly as fun as the first one, but just buckle up. It's like 20 seconds long.
Picture shows, will they break records? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
All right, we are one of the few entertainment betting shows in the world, and I can't believe there are ever odds on WWE things because it's scripted.
Same.
Who the fuck would allow this to happen? But BetUS does, so we run a segment on it. We're gonna talk the women's WarGames match, and this is a fun one. We got the Twisted Queens, which is Charlotte and Alexa, teaming with Rhea Ripley and Iyo Sky, who the Genius of the Sky. What a cool nickname! I love that. But they are facing off against the best nickname, I think, in the game right now, the Empress of Tomorrow and the Kabuki Warriors. That is Asuka and Kairi Sane, along with Nia Jax and Lash Legend, who I actually like a lot. Nia Jax, I can't stand Nia Jax.
She's boring. I think she seems cool as shit. I will say, like on TikTok and stuff, she seems really cool. But yeah, her character is pretty boring to me.
I've never seen her TikTok, but like I just
check her out. She seems like a really nice lady. Like I feel like she actually seems like a very good person. But yeah,
not landing on people quite so hard because she seems to like injure like one person a month. Like
she does. Yeah, she definitely does. I think her character is just tired. Honestly,
she's sloppy.
It is what it is.
Rod, are you hyped for this match? Do you think the buildup has been good enough for the women's WarGames match?
Well, I'm already a big fan of Rhea Ripley, and for me, like her run, her championship run, watching all of that, and then of course getting injured, I feel like it's still an underdog story for her, right? Because it's just like, you're on top, boom, you're injured, and obviously she's been fighting with all of these folks at one point or another. You're right. I think Nia is probably the weakest part of this, and Luke, I think you're right in that. Yeah, her I don't know where her character can go though. That's the only. It's big, it's powerful, it's brute. That's it. That's all.
She has a role as the mean big girl in the division.
Yeah, but like she needs more than that to be like to ever get over the hump. She needs like she can't really cut promos great, and which is unfortunate because you do need that. Like sometimes it's not how good you are in the ring. I mean, not even sometimes, a lot of time. I mean, it's how good you can connect with the crowd, right? That's what matters.
Right.
Cough, cough, Jey Uso. So like it's Rod, I think you're right, though. And I think that's actually a hot take a bit to the WWE universe because I think everyone's like, Rhea's always in the world title picture. Rhea's always like, it's always Rhea Ripley. When's she been? It's been a long time. We've been waiting for her to become champion again.
I can't get enough of Rhea Ripley personally. I think that people
I can't either.
Getting annoyed at her getting stuff. She's so young. She's so talented. She's so over. She has a great character. She cuts great promos. She's the total package. She is arguably a top 5 star in the company. Like, she deserves to be a dominant champion like all the time. Like she should always be in the championship picture.
Yeah, and think of her story arcs over the last 5. I mean, champion injured, come back with Dominic Mysterio and that whole thing with her and Liv. That was classic to me, right? I loved that. Her coming back, getting revenge on Liv for taking everything away from her. Like,
that was great.
They've done great with her storylines. And
whose story that reminded me of, Rod? Do you remember when Jericho and Christian feuded with Trish involved?
Of Trish, yep,
like
100%.
Sorry, I cut you off though. Continue.
Oh no, that was it. That was the completion of my thought.
Yeah, so like, but she's creating new stars, right? Like that's what Rhea Ripley does.
Yeah.
Naomi, bigger star because she worked with Rhea. Liv, obviously huge star. Dom really became a star because he worked with Rhea Ripley.
Dude, I think Dom might be my favorite wrestler in the company right now. I freaking love Dom. He's awesome.
He gets, you know what? He's like the last of a dying breed too, because he's so into the kayfabe of it all. Like doesn't break character anywhere.
Like I swear to God, like even before he won the belt at Mania, like I've been a Dom guy. Like I freaking love his character. He's so good. I thought they were
going to face after that. I thought he was going to become a face, but he's still
no, dude. He only turns heel. He turns heel as a heel. That's what like my favorite. I love him. He's awesome. Like
he's now an Eddie Guerrero heel, which is a very interesting.
I love it.
Take for Dominic Mysterio.
He's great.
All right,
I think that he's going to win world titles many times in the future.
We'll see. We'll see. There's not a line on that yet, but we'll get to it. All right. So right now, Rhea, Iyo, Alexa, and Charlotte are minus 260 to win this match. The Kabuki Warriors, Nia Jax, and Lash Legend are plus 170. Rod, where's your money?
I mean, look, if you have to place a bet, minus 260 sucks and it hurts, and most bettors don't touch that. But you know, I can't. I don't know. And I've been wrong so many times on this show just because I think to myself, how can this be? How can you give this to Nia, right? How can you let Nia come through with this? That's the one piece of this that I keep thinking to myself, how can you let this happen? Because Nia and the Kabuki Warriors, they, you know, when they were part with Bailey and all that other, it just damage control just didn't, I don't know. None of that meshed for me. So it never really felt right. And so I don't know. I feel like this has got to be a Rhea Ripley thing. Yeah.
I am team let Asuka win. I want her to be the winner of this. I think it's time to put her back in the main event scene, because if they lose this match after all the buildup that really Asuka has done, it's really been on her shoulders to get this match as a heel ready to go, right? She's misting everybody. Everyone's getting misted at this point. And the fact that she's able to do it without speaking English, really, even more impressive. She's so over, it's not even funny. And with the Bill Goldberg comments recently, I think I think the heels should take this one. Personally, I would actually, you know what? I like the plus money for it, because I think story-wise, especially with Charlotte and Alexa Bliss, that could add a nice wrinkle, because it could cause Charlotte and Rhea to feud and put Bliss in the middle of that. I think there's a lot of storylines that come out of the heels winning this. So I'm going to put my money down on the heels. Luke, break the tie.
So, okay, I'm being honest. I haven't watched the product as closely recently. Are they adding a fifth to this?
I don't know yet.
Because I was just looking online.
What are you saying they are?
I think it's being speculated that it's going to be Becky and AJ. Is this true?
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Like, because I think that is important. The fifth members of these matches is important to the booking. If that is true, if we assume that AJ is going with the faces, I think I have to give it to the faces. I can't see that group losing outside of a Charlotte, Alexa, you know, kind of beef or heel turn there somehow or something like that. I just don't. Again, like you guys were just saying, like what is the payoff if the heels win? I don't really know if there is one. Like, I guess there is.
See,
I feel like
I'm
there's a
team
cleaner,
I think you build more if the heels win. I think the heels
Yeah.
have to win this, because the faces don't
I
need
don't
it.
know.
They don't need this.
I don't know. I'm of that opinion for the men, which we'll get to in a second. But I think that for now, I have to go with the faces. I think they're gonna win.
I
Just
will
too
say
much star power.
they are showing a TBA for a fifth. So
Yeah.
Okay, so
So,
it'll
I mean,
probably be
the
AJ.
fifth
and
is very
Becky.
important to the booking for me. If it is AJ Lee and Becky, I think AJ Lee's got to win, right? I think you got to keep building her. But that's just me.
Build her to what? She's just gonna go away anyway. Boo! I hate when they do that.
I don't know.
Boo.
I think that she's full time.
I guess so. You segued us nicely, though, Luke, into the men's WarGames match, which did grow by two people, one on each side, as you can
Yes.
see down below. The tribal chief, the OTC, made his return at the same time that Brock Lesnar came out as the fourth member of the WarGames team. That is the Vision between the Bronze and Lgan Paul, teaming with Brock Lesnar. CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, main event Jey Uso, and then the tribal chief Roman Reigns are stepping into the dueling cages. Luke, the odds are minus 200 for the heels to take this one and plus 150 for the faces. Are you going face, or do you think the heels take this one?
The heels are definitely. I would bet my house on the heels winning this match. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
I
probably-
think they have to. Like, with Seth Rollins being injured, you're gonna keep building the Vision. Drew McIntyre's on that side with them too. He needs a win desperately. Lgan Paul needs a win. Like, everyone on that side needs a win except for Lesnar. And I don't know. I just don't see them pouring any water on Breaker and Reed and Heyman and all those guys. Like, they need a win desperately. And like, we know that Roman's willing to lose recently. He just ate a pin to try to build these same characters recently. Like, I think that they don't really have anything to lose. Both champions in this match too, with Punk and Cody, like, they can eat a pin and they can lose. They're not going to lose their belts. Like, I think it makes all the sense in the world for the heels to win this match. Like, there's really no reason for the faces to win. It would just bury their heel talent.
Rod, are you in lockstep with Luke, or are you going against the grain?
I hate that Logan Paul is going to benefit from this. I do. I cannot. Logan Paul is the worst of everything to me.
I hate him, dude. I hate his guts, but he is a very good wrestler. I will say, in ring, he's really fun to watch. Personally, I like watching him. I hate him, but he's a good wrestler.
See, you could do that. I don't know that I can never separate the two, because every time I see him do anything good, I'm like, I still hate his guts. But
no, I agree. But he's a good wrestler.
He is. No, and I really do. I think this is one where, minus 200 actually is not. It still sucks to swallow, but it's better than minus 260. But yeah, I mean, you're right. All of these guys, CM Punk, all of these guys, they can stand to lose this match, because I guess in a sense, it's almost a throwaway and a good stepladder for future feuds to come, right? Because the Breaker, right? Braun Breaker, when you talked about all the heels going rogue, I mean, Braun Breaker just basically did that a couple of years ago, right? Where he was just spearing everybody in sight, putting notice to the WWE that, he should be taken seriously. And so that seems to be where his arc is continuing to go. And, Bronson Reed, another one of those guys that just probably needs a big lift out of this as well. So yeah, I think Luke's right in that they're going to let the heels win this one.
Can I real quick start a side tangent? I'm not in on Bronson Reed personally. I think that he will always be a mid-carder in my eyes. I don't think he's ever going to be world title material, in my opinion.
I need to see him cut more promos before I can make a full determination. Right. But
I think
he's fine. I just need him to. I don't see him as a main event guy. Like, Breaker is clearly the
Breaker is amazing. I honestly, dude, I really, I don't know if he's healthy yet. I really wish it was Theory in with the Vision rather than Reed. I feel like it'd be so good. Like, he needs it. I don't think Reed, like,
that's a good
Reed's
choice.
fine on his own. I think, like, he'll be a mid-carder. I never see Bronson Reed. Maybe he wins one world title as of now with his current character, but I don't know. I personally am just not buying in. I think that he's okay.
So here's the question then. So we're all kind of like, all right, the heels are going to take this one. Rod, who eats the pin?
Ooh, that is a good question.
That's what the betting odds should be. Who's eating the pin on this?
I mean, you think it's Jey Uso? Like,
I think it's Roman.
All of them. You think it's Roman?
I think it's either Roman or Punk.
I think Roman's going to eat it, because I think Roman's turning heel fairly soon.
We need it. I don't know if I'm just a Roman fanboy.
I think everyone has realized that there's no heel who can take up the mantle like Roman had it. And that they're going to make that move. And I think we're going to watch the fracture of, like, the bloodline more and more. And we're seeing him, like, take losses and be like, they don't think I can do it on my own, blah, 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 blah. Like, he's getting mad at his family. And I think we're going to see, like, a different, like, tribal chief, but he's, like, kind of, like, riding solo and being like, it's going to be like a run of dominance that we've never seen. It's just going to be like the most evil version of Roman Reigns ever, where he's, like, injuring people and probably doing, like, arm breaks and things like that. I think we're going to see that. I think Roman eats the pin here. You have who do you have, Rod? You have Jey eating it?
I feel like Jey Uso is probably the most.
Jey's the easiest to eat.
Yeah.
Roman pin makes sense too for storyline narratives to advance forward with the Vision and stuff. Like, I think that's totally fine. I will say too, like, they were planting weird seeds there with Jey as, like, a heel turn kind of.
It seems like they bailed on that, huh? Either that or he's going to turn.
Yeah. That was weird. I am tired of Jey Uso, dude. I know he's not for me.
Oh,
like,
hold that thought, because we're gonna get more into Jey Uso in a little bit here.
He's for the kids, but man, I'm tired.
We're gonna get to him. Trust me. All right.
Come on, man. Come on, Luke. Let's eat.
I've seen him live like 4 times. I love the entrance in person. You know, of course. But we'll get to it.
We'll get to it. Another bet. 2026. This one has nothing to do with Survivor Series. 2026 Royal Rumble winner. Making you guys think ahead. Who do you think WWE is going to send to WrestleMania as the Rumble winner? You guys have the show sheet. You have all the odds listed. Right now, the favorite to win the Royal Rumble for all of our listeners at home is Sami Zayn.
It's only because it's in Saudi. That's the only reason, in my opinion. Like, seriously, that's the only reason.
You think that's the only way they could get him to, like, show up?
Not show up. I'm saying, like, I think the only reason he's favored is because every fan in the world's like, oh, it's in Saudi. That crowd loves Sami Zayn. there's a lot of fans on Twitter who are like, "Oh my God, Sammy needs a world title run." Like, I think it's just like,
I gotta
it's a
tell you,
fantasy booker's wet dream of like, "Oh my God, it just makes so much sense. We have to," which makes me feel like they're not going to do it. There's
the
no way
fans
they do it.
also like they pretend they want Sami Zayn to be a world champion. They absolutely do not
You
want Sami Zayn
you
as a world
don't,
champion.
dude. I like Sammy fine.
No one wants
He's
Sami
not a
Zayn
world
to be
champ. Sorry,
He's not. It's more fun to watch him chase. Rod,
Yes.
who you got?
That's a tough one. I mean, they keep building up all of these guys like the Brawns in the of the world. Sammy at short odds just doesn't make any sense to me. You can only say
Nope.
let's go so many times, right? But
Right.
who needs another run, right? I mean, out of the favorites, you're looking at CM Punk, Rollins, Gunther, Roman Reigns, McIntyre. Do they give McIntyre another run? Like, I don't know. Jacob Fatu, that doesn't make any sense. The Rock doesn't make any sense at 8-1. I mean, you start getting into the Braun Breakers of the world. He's at plus 170 or plus 175 for this one. Like, do they build him up? Right? Do they make this?
They could. They
Yeah,
could. It's weird. Triple H has used the Rumble very differently than Vince did, right? Because the Rumble winner was almost always new-ish, young-ish, needed that thing to get them over the hump, right? Like they needed the Rumble. Then it kind of toward the back end of his booking, it became like the older guys started winning. It was like Randy, John, Hunter, like started winning. Triple H seems to give it to established guys a lot more. If I'm laying my money down, I mean, and I had just mentioned that I think he's turning heel. I think Roman at 6-1 odds. I like that. I feel like this is Roman's time to win I think he's going to enter the Rumble, win the Rumble on this like kind of crusade that he's on, where he's like, I'm just going to destroy everybody and no one will stop me. But Luke, who do you got? Who do you got winning the? Actually,
I
Rod,
honestly think Roman is. I think Roman as well. Honestly, I think especially looking at the odds too. I think it really depends on who's champion. Then I don't think they're gonna run back Cody Roman. I think that's already. I think that's done. I think we're done with for now. I mean, in the future, I'm sure they'll have another match before they both hang them up. But for now, like, sorry, I was getting FaceTime. But for now, I think that it's got to be Roman at the odds here. I think that if Punk is still champ, I could see a Roman Punk feud for Mania. I could see that working.
Sure.
I don't know. I think it really depends. I also would not be surprised if Triple H puts the world heavyweight title on Roman to try to put it more over. I think that would make a lot of sense. Like I was saying, I needs more of that rub. If Rollins is back as a surprise entrant in the Rumble, I totally could see him winning it too. Seth is also one of my absolute favorites. I love Seth Rollins.
I don't know if they're ever going to give Seth the keys to the kingdom again.
Because he gets hurt too often?
He gets hurt too often. You can't trust him. You can't
I
trust
guess.
him. Rod,
I don't. Let's say hypothetically though. Braun Breaker has World Heavyweight Championship going into Mania lead up. If Seth wins the Rumble, Seth versus the Vision feud for the Rumble could be pretty money. I
think if Braun's going to get a world title in the next calendar year, it'll be because he won the Rumble.
You think so? You don't think that they'll have Braun? You don't think Braun could beat up Punk right now in a main event at a pay-per-view?
I don't think he's ready for that yet. I don't think the crowd's behind him quite enough. Rod, who did you pick?
You called me out because I didn't pick anybody. I think Braun Breaker at plus 175 would be mine because, like you said, I think he wins the Rumble. I think he is able to go up against whoever the champion is at that point. Because if they let them win this match, right, without Seth, without all this stuff going on, I think the build up to this next Royal Rumble, this next WrestleMania becomes him just sort of eclipsing everybody else and going for it.
Yeah. Well, and remember, Luke, also, we only have 2 months before the Rumble. Like, there's one more pay-per-view before the Rumble. So, like, unless they're really going to rush that forward and be like, Braun Breaker's our new world champion, which Triple H is not a huge fan of major title changes at anything other than it seems Mania, SummerSlam, or I guess Survivor Series. I think we're going to see Breaker either win the Rumble or just feud with Seth Rollins. Although Rollins, I think, is out past Mania, isn't he?
He probably is. Yeah, I think he is.
Or if not, he's going to come back and get hurt again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think dude, it's not going to be Sami Zayn. There's no freaking way.
That's one thing I'm real comfortable.
Could you seriously imagine them doing Mania with Sami Zayn versus somebody else as their ticket driver? There's just no shot. There's no way in hell.
It's not he's not that guy. He's just not. And that's not a knock on him. It's just the truth. Like, there's plenty of guys. There's plenty of very talented wrestlers who just aren't that guy. And
I think Drew could be interesting, but he just won Chamber like last year. Like I don't think they're gonna give that to him again.
at this point, I gotta be honest. I love Drew McIntyre. Love it. At this point, they blew it. They blew it.
I
They've-
agree.
they've
I
had
think that
him lose too
they
many
put him
times.
in that spot too many times and not pulled the trigger. I think
Yeah.
I think Gunther. We'll get there in a second too. Might be a transition.
Jesus.
He's
We'll-
winning. He's
we'll
winning
get
the
more
IC
into
title
Gunther
off
as
Cena in
well.
his retirement match. That's totally what's happening there. He's winning the IC title off Cena in his retirement match, and he's gonna have another huge IC title reign, in my opinion. I guess we'll just transition there because the graphics on the screen.
Yeah, you just
Um,
transitioned us
In
pretty
terms
nicely.
of, I'll see it up here for you, Steve. Betting odds here for the last time is now tournament winner to win the last match is minus 280. That's pretty hefty. Cena is plus 180. I think honestly, all this comes down to if he has the title. If he has the IC title, he is losing. Like they're not gonna have Cena land and
I
just lay
think
it on the
Cena's
mat.
losing no matter what. Cena's old school in the fact that you go out on your back, right, Rod? Like that's the age-old rule, right?
I mean, you saw all these guys, all these greats, Hogan and all these guys. Just so, when it's time to end, it's time to end. A Taker, same difference, right? You
Yep.
go out and you just don't win your final match and you lay whatever you got going
Such a
down. And
strange one.
it is, isn't it? You feel like
It's a
you want to go
strange
out on
rule.
a high, but
But
what
they
can you
don't.
do?
They want to lose and have a great final match and be like, I gave it all I had. And I think like as a fan, right? I think it gives you like that psychological feeling of like they just couldn't get themselves over the hump anymore. Like you believe that like they gave it, like Taker just wasn't Taker anymore. He wanted to be.
Mhm.
He wanted to be the dead man, but he just couldn't get himself there. And then he had like that match with AJ Styles and got there. But
Dude,
like
Cena looks good though. Still, man. I honestly, here's my opinion.
Cena's retiring for 5 years too early, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Here's the thing with Cena though. In my opinion, I think it's gonna be Gunther. It has to be, kind of, in my opinion.
We're gonna
If
get
you're
more
looking
to-
at the tournament,
We're
but
gonna get more to Gunther in a second, but let's save your thoughts on Gunther because we're gonna talk about him because
Okay.
I have some thoughts on Gunther. Not to cut you off, but I
Fine.
have to. That's my job. So, all right, we're gonna move on to a little Mount Rushmore here. I asked you guys to pick the 4 greatest entrance themes of all time. Each of us picked 4. So we're bringing you, in our opinion, the 12 best of all time. I'll see you guys on the other side of this drop.
Best of the best. Mountains in the west. The stories will last. The present and past.
The greatest entrances of all time. Greatest entrance themes, not entrances in general, right? Entrance themes of all time. This is a tough one. I struggled pretty hard with this. I don't know if you guys did as well. It took me a minute. There is one that I expect to exist on at least 2 of ours. Hint, hint, down at the bottom there. I think that's pretty common, but I'm excited to see what we got. Luke, you are kind of the guest of guests here. So why don't you give us your 4 best entrance themes?
God, this feels impossible as a newer fan too, right? Like I didn't get to see a lot of these in their heyday.
I promise you more people will have issues with mine than with yours.
Okay, we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll go classics first. I'll go Stone Cold, obviously. You have to do Stone Cold. Number 2, dude, this is hard. Okay, it's like, okay, best entrance, like it's the theme. It's
the
not
music.
just the entrance.
It's the music. It's just the music that gets you going.
Oh God, I have to do Taker.
Okay. Like the most recent Undertaker theme, right? Like when he
Yes.
was the dead man, like
Yes.
the whole
Dead Man theme. Yep.
thing. Yeah.
Dude, these are so hard. I'll do one because it's my modern favorite. I have to do the head of the table Roman Reigns theme. Not the current one, the one before, the peak tribal chief one. That's my
Yeah.
favorite because that's when I became a wrestling fan. I understand some people not like that. And then 5,
Yep.
I'll do Edge. I'll do Metalingus.
Metalingus. I like that. That's
Those are my
a
4.
very common one as well. That's a big hit. Rod, how different is your list?
It's a little different. I mean, obviously Taker is the top of that list. Cult of Personality. I mean, that song was
Honorable
my jam
mention.
in the 80s, right? So like when CM Punk comes out to it and just anytime I hear it, I'm like, let's go. I absolutely love that one. Let's see. I do like man, this is tough too. I do like Randy Orton's voices. Like when you
Voices
hear
is great.
yeah, when you hear voices, you're like, let's go. You're ready for anything on that one. So what's that? 3?
That's 3.
Damn. All right. Well, then I got to pick between either the game, the original Triple H, the game,
Yep.
when time to play the game, or All About the Money. That was a good one too. Little McMahon version there. Shane O'Mac.
Oh, Shane McMahon's
yeah.
entrance
All
theme?
About the Money. Yeah.
I like
I
that
have
one.
so many of them though. It's hard to pick 4. Break the Walls
Yeah,
Down. Chris Jericho was a good one too.
Break
I
the
should,
Walls
dude.
Down
I
is
should.
great.
That's a great. Jericho's great. I should have
That's a great
mentioned
one.
Cena too, dude. I love Cena.
Cena's
Oh.
is great.
It's so iconic. I
Can I
love
tell
it.
you though, as far as like which one I'm like, oh, this is a bop. I do think Basic Thugonomics is better than
It is.
My Time Is Now. Like
is.
I think that's just a better song. I'm like, oh, it's not kind of it's a fucking bop. I want to give some honorable mentions. Real quick. On my list, I did have Taker for a minute. I took Taker's off. I love it, but I was like, do I love this? Does the music get me there, or is it the entire thing? Right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because in my mind, I'm like, if they stuck that theme song on, I don't know, CM Punk, it doesn't hit, right? Like, it just doesn't work. Like, so I'm like, okay, I need a song. It's like the song that moves me that I'm like, okay, I really feel the energy of this song. So yes, Stone Cold wound up on my Mount Rushmore list. Metalingus also ended up on mine as well. So that's where Luke and I are similar.
Bangers.
Then I went back to the early days of my WWE fandom. Slow Chemical, Kane's entrance done by Finger 11.
Nice.
I loved that one. I thought that was the best Kane has ever appeared, sounded. It was perfect. I was like, this is absolute perfection of an entrance theme. It should have stuck. I don't know why they got rid of it. It must have been. I'm convinced it's because they didn't want to pay Finger 11 to use the song. There's no other reason. And then my last one, and tell me I'm crazy if you want. I got Shinsuke Nakamura's
Okay.
The Rising Sun.
Yes.
Yeah, the Rising Sun.
There.
I'm like, when they changed that, I was like, what a fuck up that was.
I
Why the
have
fuck did
one
they do
more.
that?
I have one more honorable mention that's also super new gen of me, but I love
Yeah.
it, and I'm sad it's gone. The old Judgment Day theme, the other side.
Oh,
That was a good one. I like that one
Good
too.
one.
I like
Good
that one too.
theme.
So we all like Nakamura's theme, though, right? And we all agree that the
Yeah.
the one they
Shinsuke-
changed it
yeah.
to sucked because they
Yeah.
took like the greatest entrance theme like going right now. And
Tell me you did not get chills though at Mania when the violin player came out and actually played that. That was amazing.
that was sick. Like every time that dude just aura farms all the time. That's all
All he
that
does.
is. He is the coolest motherfucker on the planet. I don't care what anybody says. I'm all in on Shinsuke Nakamura. Because oh my god. Like yeah,
Speaking of title reigns, that Triple H fumbled, by the way. His U.S. title reign sucked. He disappeared.
his whole run has been a fumble. His whole
Yes.
run has been a fumble. As a matter of fact, I'm so amped up about the fact that his entire run has been a fumble that we're going to move on to the next segment because we need to talk about this. I'll see you on the other side of this drop.
Maybe nostalgia's got you blind, or maybe I just see it right. I know you wanna shout, but before you shut me down, just hear me out. Hear me out. I'm not afraid to take the heat. Hear me out. I'll die on this hill if I need. You can fight it, you can hate it, but you'll never say I forget. Hear me out. I got hot takes on
The question is, the wrestler Triple H fumbled the most as head of creative, and I will start because we're already on the topic, Shinsuke Nakamura. The guy is electric. And I was like, why have they not, like, they kind of flashed an idea of him being like this, like, Ronin character. Why did they not just do that? That dude, the entrance theme, the ability in the ring, the aura is just, the dude is dripping with it. I am like, the crowd loves him like they'll do anything he wants them to do, right? And yet Triple H can't find a use for this guy. Rod, what the fuck's going on?
I have no idea. If I knew the answer to that, I'd be a millionaire right now. And honestly, you're right. It just watching him wrestle, watching him do anything. It's an effortless. There's some people that it takes a lot of effort to do what they do, right? You can tell that there's a little work behind it and they're struggling a little bit to get it done. But with Shinsuke, it's like, that's who he is. Like, I feel like if I saw him on the street, he'd just be exactly the same guy as he is, like right in front of the ring, right? So for him to be so natural, I don't know why you can't find more uses for him, because it doesn't feel like it takes a lot for him to do what you ask him to do. And I honestly feel like there's so many opportunities that he could have had to be, I guess, more in the limelight than he is now. And it's frustrating because you're right. Everything about him screams, go ahead and keep me going at a high level, but they just can't put him there. Maybe it's his size. I know as a little guy myself, it's sometimes hard to say,
is he small though, or is he just not huge? Because isn't he like 6 feet tall?
I actually don't know how tall he is, but he doesn't look 6 feet tall.
I mean, they call him the king of strong style, so he must be big enough to toss people around, right? Like he chucks people all over the ring. And serving him up as like feeder for like Sheamus and Dragon or Sami Zayn in the stupid US title, and I like the US title tournament, but like serving him up as like developmental fodder is infuriating. Like what a waste of this guy. Do you guys have anyone else that like, because I picked Nakamura from Ryan. Who do you guys have that you're like, what the hell was Triple H doing?
I have a few, honestly.
All right, lay 'em on us.
More modern picks. First of all, the Wyatt Six, dude. Hello, what are we doing?
Yeah, they came out with
massive.
So cool, and then
I was freaked. I bought a T-shirt before they debuted. I loved it. I thought it was awesome, and dude, they just lost all momentum. They were introduced as this like big bad looming threat, and they always should have been that. Even when Uncle Howdy, he got hurt, they really should have still continued the mistake.
All right, so he got hurt. It's not like he was in the ring all that much. He cut promos all the time. That's all he ever had to do.
It's true. No, but
they also fumbled the shit out of not using Alexa Bliss as the head of that.
Agree. I don't understand how they didn't do that either. I understand how they wanted to separate her, I guess, but like she still has the spooky hair.
Sometimes Triple H almost overthinks it, where he's like, they're expecting this, we're gonna do this instead, because they think they know what's going on, and we need to prove that we're smarter than them.
Yes, for sure. My next guy, I have two more. Next one, somebody mentioned earlier, Austin Theory, man. Come on, dude. I know he's been hurt for a while still, but like everyone on like wrestling Twitter and stuff is like, this guy has so much potential.
I blame Vince for this. I still blame Vince for the Austin Theory hate.
He needs a push. It'll happen. I still have faith that that'll happen, but he needs it. And then this is my last one.
I mean, he's like 27 years old, so he's like younger than half of us.
Yeah, he has tons of time. It'll happen. I'm still disappointed in how it's gone so far. My last one, again, tons of potential. I definitely think he'll be a world champ at some point, unless he gets completely fumbled. But Mello, dude, Carmelo Hayes should have come on the main roster and immediately been a huge star. And he has been kind of in these like weird feuds, not got a lot of TV time. Like he should have been pushed heavy. And they just didn't do it. And dude, Trick Williams needs to come up and give him some life. They need to be boys again and like run it on WWE TV for a while, because Mello is awesome. I really like him. I think that he definitely has a lot more juice. And then, man, like it's hard not to say like a Drew McIntyre, but he's been given so many opportunities. Like he clearly Triple H likes him. But it's just like, man.
Does he? Or does he like to just like I feel like it's like in his contract that he signed in the extension that's like, I need X amount of world title opportunities. And Triple H is like, fine, but you're going to lose them all. And
another guy like that too, honestly, I think that's worse. I think that honestly is an argument for this list still is, dude, LA Knight, man. Get a world title on him once.
Oh, him holding up that sign, dude. Like he was on the list of like potential Rumble winners, and I was like, a zero chance.
Yeah, he definitely got himself put in the doghouse with that one. I don't understand that at all.
Like some guys get away with it, some guys don't. Rod, right? Like we've seen it. Sometimes, like Cody went into business for himself, pointed at Roman, world champion. LA Knight signed that a fan brought, doghouse.
Yeah,
and then another one. I have so many. God, one more. It's okay. This one's tough too, because he technically has been given opportunities, and you'll know exactly what I mean when I say his name. Chad Gable, man, come on! I love
You
Gable.
know what? I was in lockstep with you with all of these until Chad Gable. I don't like.
You don't
Chad
like Gable?
I
How
don't.
do you
And
not like Chad Gable?
because I don't like him, and I fucking hate El Grande Americano. I think
As I
that
said,
whole.
the luchador.
I
Dude,
think that character.
love that character. I think El Grande Americano is hilarious. I think that is like, it's awesome. I think Ludwig Kaiser took it and stole it from him. I don't think Gable's getting it back.
I don't think it should have ever started. I think that is the most annoying fucking character.
Well, here's the thing. It got derailed. You have to remember, it got derailed. They were gonna build to Mania, and he was gonna get unmasked at Mania, and that was gonna be the end of the storyline, and that would have been great. I think that Rey Mysterio's injury before the match, because they had the whole build, it ruined everything, and they had to completely pivot and do this whole different thing. If it ended clean at Mania and Gable got unmasked, it would have been a hilarious storyline. It would have ended there, and it would be great.
I think it reeks, and this is the only show on IBT that we would actually say something like this. It reeks of MAGA humor.
I agree
in my
with you.
opinion.
I agree with you, but I do think that it has been a good comedic character over the last calendar year in WWE. It's over with the crowd. It is like.
But see, think about it this way too. We had back in the day, right? The Iron Sheik. We had Sergeant Slaughter. We had all of these things. We forget that yes, as what we are now in society, but we had these characters that made people go, "I hate you," and that's what that was. I feel like it was kind of a callback to the "I hate you" days.
Do you think that's what it was? I was about to ask you, Rod, because I'm like, it reeks of Vince, doesn't it? It's such a Vince
100%.
character,
Yes.
and it's like. But in my opinion, it's the worst of Vince's characters. Like, I think the Iron Sheik was not portrayed as a parody. And I think El Grande Americano is being used as a parody of a luchador. You know what I mean? Like, I thought it was funny when Gable was like, I'm going to Mexico to learn how to defeat the luchador. I dig it. I dig him coming back and be like, I'm El Grande Americano, and then the fucking Gulf of America thing and the segments, it just pissed me off. Like,
but you have to remember, it was only supposed to be like a 3-month thing. Like, it should have been over in April, but it's still going.
My point is, it should have never started.
I agree. I would have preferred it if they kept Gable and actually pulled the trigger on the feud with Otis and did all that like a while ago.
To your point, Chad Gable stands, I think he's fucking white bread. He's boring as shit. I think
I love him, dude. I think he's a great wrestler. You have to think back to WrestleMania 40. His character was so good.
I know him. He's such a good wrestler. He's really good in the ring. Let me tell you, he looks like he thinks mayonnaise is spicy. Like I just like
sure.
I just don't.
I mean, he doesn't look that different from like a Kurt Angle, really. I mean, if you think about it, like his character. He doesn't.
There's Kurt Angle.
They wear like the same gear, and they're both muscly, and like they're not that big.
But like Kurt Angle had it.
Sure, I mean I understand what you're saying. I'm not saying he's a star. I'm just saying in general, like Gable. Think back to 40. His character was so good in the build to Sammy beating Gunther for the IC title.
It was
so good. It was great.
That.
Like he can do good character
fighting Otis.
And the feud also where he turned on Alpha Academy and became a heel, that was really good. Like he's done good work. He's just been hurt for a while and people forget it. But he's a good wrestler. He is. They haven't given the chance for him to win gold.
Yeah, and we have to remember, Steve, that this business makes people that we hate, right? We're supposed to hate them. We're supposed to totally, like with every fiber of our being, can't stand them. And so the fact that you are that just mad about everything like that, that makes that exactly what it was supposed to be. So I love it.
It would if I didn't change the channel every time it came on.
That's true.
That's the problem, right? Like you want to hate them. Like I hated bald Randy Orton. That motherfucker got under my skin in ways I can't even begin to explain. Like when he DDT'd and kissed Stephanie McMahon, I knew it was fake, and I was still like, I'd fuck him up. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't actually get mad at heels. I always just respect the work. I'm like,
that's because you didn't experience 2009 Randy Orton. That man was a fucking menace.
Sure.
I interviewed 2009 Randy Orton.
That's pretty cool, man. That's awesome.
Oh, that's right. You did. You told me about that.
Yeah, Luke hasn't heard the story yet. Yeah, so
you gotta tell it. You gotta tell it on air.
Yeah, so I worked for a radio station back in the day, and my boss came in and he goes, "Hey, do you know anything about wrestling?" And at the time, I mean, I was all in. Like I was watching everything. I knew every storyline and everything. And I was like, I know a little. And he goes, so Randy Orton and Christian are going to call in because there was a house show in our backyard, and,
Right.
and they were like, well, they're going to call in and you're going to interview them. And I was like,
You're like, okay, great.
I was like, are you kidding me? So then, Christian calls in. I interview Christian. I call it a belt, and he scolds me on air. He's like, it's not a belt. It's a title. A belt is something you wear. A title is something you earn. And I was like, oh, shit, I just pissed off Christian. So I kept through the interview. And then, of course, Randy Orton comes on, and I'm talking to Randy Orton. And at the end of it, he's like, yeah, you know what, Hot Rod? And I was like, you called me by name. And I was all excited. It was a great experience. Both of them were amazing people.
That's really cool. Dude, I love when the people still keep kayfabe and go on shows like who was it? Grayson Waller in like Australia when he was doing media, just like laid into these reporters about it being fake and stuff. Like I love it. It's great.
If you love kayfabe, go watch what Dominic Mysterio just did on ESPN. That
I
poor
saw
had no concept of how to deal with that, because they're like, how cool was it to wrestle your dad? And he's like, oh, he's a deadbeat. He didn't like love me. And like the poor anchor's like, what is happening right now?
I love it. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I love Dom, dude. Like he's so good. First of all, Dom seems like the nicest guy. I feel like in general, like he seems like a good dude. I love his character work. I think in ring he's great. I love it.
I do like Dom, but man, 2009 Randy Orton was the heel of heels, like one of the greatest heels of all time. And I think we need Randy Orton to go back to being a heel. I like face Randy Orton.
That's another Triple H fumble, honestly, in the Triple H mistake segment.
It is.
It's become a meme. It's become that meme on SmackDown every week. It's like, oh, here comes Randy. He's gonna return and stare at Cody's title again, and like that's it. Like they've been waiting. Maybe that's the program for the Rumble. Maybe Randy wins the Rumble, and you get heel Randy versus Cody.
We need heel Randy for the last 5 of his career. Like he's on the back 9 at this point, and we need a heel.
100%. Yeah, he's gonna be done kind of soon. But I honestly, I feel like he's barely on TV right now. Honestly, he goes away.
They're gearing for something, I think. Rod, who's your guy that you think Triple H has misused?
Actually, I think it's a gal. I think Bailey has been one of those ones where she's up, she's down, and you don't know. Like she's such a talent, right? You put the belt on, you put the title on her. Sorry, Christian. You put the title on her, and then
somewhere right now, Christian Cage has just sat up in bed and been like, "It's a title."
You remember what I told you that it's a title? No, listen, and you know what I'm saying? Like she's so good, and she's got so much talent as far as her promos, and I just don't feel like she's ever been put in an actual situation where like a Rhea Ripley has been put in, and they gave her the belt or I did it again. They gave her the title, but I don't feel like they handled that because the hugger, right? And then
the booking sucked for her title reign.
100%. Yeah. And I feel like if they just gave her a Rhea Ripley type treatment, right, where they actually build her story up rather than just using her as this generic women's title.
Well, they did it at 40. They built really well with that feud with Iyo, and it was a great match. But the thing is, I will say with Bailey, this is my Gable, I guess. I think she's great. I respect the hell out of her. I think her character is very boring right now. Like I think that like ultimately what she's been doing since 40 when she won the title, I think Bailey has been one of those characters where like, not that I dislike her, but like Steve said earlier with Gable, I'm a little more inclined to like change the channel when like a Bailey segment's going on because like she's not really been doing anything that interesting. Like,
can I say
she's been kind of a stale character to me.
Is it her fault?
No, you're right.
I think a little bit. Hang on. I got a hot take. I think Bailey's biggest issue is that her finisher sucks.
I agree.
that
her finisher does suck.
Yeah.
And her music also sucks.
All of her finishers have always sucked. And I think that's always,
yes.
Her music sucks, her finisher sucks. Her character is kind of stale. She's a great performer. Great performer. Her finisher sucks. She gets compared to like Becky Lynch, and so dude, I love Becky currently. I think that she's great right now. Unbelievable. I love Becky right now. Her IC reign was awesome. Love her.
If Bailey just used like the attitude adjustment,
10
out of 10, no notes. I love Bailey. All right, Rod, I'm gonna pivot to the next question I have for you. Who's a wrestler Triple H is overused?
I'm going back to Lgan Paul. I feel like it's not just that he's overused him, and I just think he's kept him too long. Luke's such a generational gap.
I hate Lgan Paul as a person. I hate him. He's disgusting. He's not on TV that often, in my opinion. Really,
it's still too much.
It's still too much.
He's a guy. Listen, you can hate him. Watch his matches. He's a good in-ring talent, and he brings eyes to the product.
I will tell you right now, I wouldn't I don't watch when he's involved, and I think
Dude,
that's
his
the
matches
issue.
are
It's like,
good. Like I like Logan Paul, the
threat of him
WWE
winning,
heel. He's a good
if he
heel.
wins
I don't
anything,
like him.
I won't watch. Like, I'm like, I don't want to see him. I
Trust
just
me,
don't.
I was there at the Rumble this year when he was in the final three, and I was like, I turned to my dad and said, if Logan Paul wins, I will burn this arena to the ground.
Let me tell you, there's nothing worse. So I was at the Rumble in Boston when Del Rio won the 40-man Rumble. Let me tell you, it was it landed with a thud. Let me tell you, that the air got sucked out of that place so bad. It was brutal. It was brutal. We were all pissed. Everyone was mad. So
Can I tell you a fun story about Alberto Del Rio though?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, sorry.
stories.
This is story time. I went to a house show, right, and in our town, and I had seats right next to the entrance sign or entrance part where the wrestlers would come in, and so everybody comes in for their matches and whatever. And Alberto Del Rio comes in, and my wife, well, she's my fiance at the time, was standing next to me, and Alberto grabs her hand and starts looking at her, and I bow up to him, honestly knowing nothing's gonna happen, but like Alberto, he like looking her in
You
the
play
and I
into it. You play into the game. Yeah,
I
that's
was like, get off her.
that's the best part of wrestling, right? Is that like you kind of become part of the show. You buy in, you do all the stuff, you have the whole moment. I will go next, Luke, because I told you to park your feelings for a second and go into it. Because Gunther to me is the wrestler that Triple H he's going to that well too often. And let me say this before you yell at me, because I'm gonna make it worse. I think Gunther is legitimately one of the most boring superstars I have ever witnessed in the WWE become a star. It's actually painful at this point to watch him do anything. His matches are like slog fests. His promos take forever and a day to get going. Nothing this man does has any pace to it whatsoever. And he has like 4 moves that are like legitimately cool to watch, but he pulls them out. He has a good chop, got a great chop. Like, I think he's topped Ric Flair in terms of chops. I'll give him it. His power bomb is fine. He does a drop kick on occasion, and then he does a splash. Other than that, this man is boring. It's just white bread, boring nonsense. Luke, the floor is yours. Go ahead and defend your man.
Well, I'm not even a huge Gunther fan. I honestly was just talking about him being John Cena because I think they're going to. I was gonna say I honestly think it's the wrong choice. But anyways, I like Gunther. I think that he is entertaining in the sense that I think him being boring is his character. His character is that he doesn't want to perform for the masses because he hates them and thinks that they're not worthy of his presence, and that he's very like straight edge, like straight laced character. He's not there for any nonsense or tomfoolery. He's there to like respect the sports and like win, and that's all he cares about. I think he's good at what he does. I do like Gunther. I think he's a good wrestler, honestly, in my opinion. I think I agree with you in the sense that I think like as like a world champion, he's pretty boring. I loved his IC title reign. I loved it.
Can I say something kind of incendiary? And you're not going to care about this, Luke, but
Please.
Rod, you're going to care about this. Gunther to me is what Bret Hart was back in the day. People tell me he's great. He'll tell me he's great. People who know wrestling, like Dave Meltzer, will tell me he's great, and I'll watch and go, nothing. He doesn't move the needle for me.
It's kind of strange because with Bret Hart, there was so much emotion tied to Bret Hart every time. But I guess in ring, if you're talking about in ring, really the figure 4 is what he was aiming toward, right? And that's kind of what you were looking for every single time. And I would have to go back and look. Oh, the sharpshooter. I'm sorry, but yeah, the sharpshooter. Sorry, too much into this, but yeah, the sharpshooter is what you're looking for. And you know, it just to me, yeah, I'd have to go back and look at his matches because I don't know. I was a kid when Bret Hart was wrestling, and I bought into all that, the good Bret Hart stuff and the fun stories and everything like that.
I remember from Bret Hart, right? I grew up when he went to WCW, obviously, so I missed a lot of his WWF run. But like I remember, and I've watched like matches back, and the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. He had a great catchphrase, and after that, like. And then I just listen to Bret Hart talk about himself now, and he's like, and I was able to do this and this and this. And I'm like,
he's pretty unsufferable these days. I see his clips.
But like you watch his matches and it's so technical, right? And like I get there's room for technical wrestling. Like I appreciate someone who's like, I'm a great technician, but you got to have more than that. You can't just sit there and be like, I did an atomic drop into a second rope elbow into my sharpshooter, and it was all flawless, and I didn't hurt anybody, and I looked mechanical in doing it. Like, dude, come on, give me more than that. Add a little spice to the dish, right? Like, listen, if you give me noodles and butter, like, yes, you made me a very solid dish. I will be
Here's the thing
full.
with
I
Gunther
won't
to me,
die.
I think ultimately is like what you're saying is he is pretty plain. Ultimately, I think the thing with Gunther that sucks is I think that he's a very good, like, you're watching the match. Like when Gunther has a match on like Raw or something, I'm gonna watch him like, oh, this might be a banger. Like it's gonna be like a very physical match. Like I think that's good. He's a good in-ring talent. I think that's what honestly his stardom is based off of. But he's not elevating feuds. He's for the most part, unless it's a very specific feud, he's not gonna be the guy to put it over the top. Like I'm not excited to watch Gunther versus John Cena for John Cena's last match. I would rather see John Cena versus like a Sheamus, like or like The Miz, or like I don't know, anything better is really better on paper. I think that is going to put over Gunther, give him the IC title. But again, it doesn't have to be Gunther though. If Cena loses the IC title to Dom at Survivor Series, which he could. But okay, sorry. The question I think that Triple H overuses, honestly, again, we talked about it earlier. It's gotta be Jey Uso, dude. It's gotta be. He is in literally everything. And he's moving merch. He's doing whatever. He's just like, I don't know. I'm tired of Jey Uso. I love him as a tag guy. I love his character. I love him in general. I just think it's too much. I've had enough Jey Uso.
I agree.
He has been
I agree.
Doing a lot for a long time. Who else? There was another name I had here too. Sorry, talk again for a second, folks. I had another name.
No, it's all right. Like, let me tell you, I don't know what this whole thing with like Triple H is. Like, he moves merch. Okay, well, he'll move merch as a mid-carder too. It won't stop. Like, people won't just stop buying his merch. They like him. Like, just leave him there. That's where he belongs. All right. This isn't a segment we had planned, but I want to pitch a name as who I thought should have retired John Cena.
Sure.
Because you need to make a new star, right? With this makes a new star. It should have been Obafemi. It should have been
honestly. I'm down for that. I think that'd be great. I think Braun Breaker would be a great choice.
I think Obafemi at this point is the guy I look at and go, that's him. He's him, right? He shows up and you're like, and he's got the charisma, the ruler. What a sick nickname. He's got the physique, the moveset, the in-ring ability. He cuts a mean promo. Even, I mean, you know, Taker's not infallible, but like even Taker kind of dubbed him as like, that's the next dude. Rod, are you a fan of the ruler? Are you a fan of Obafemi?
Give me some Booker T vibes with the braids and the dreads and everything like
Yeah.
that. So, yeah, I mean, all he's got to do is just give me one of these or give me the 5-knuckle shuffle. Yeah, I'm good. That's Cena.
Yeah, that's Cena. But no, we got what you're saying. Like he is. I think, yeah, like give it a little 5 time.
Yeah.
I think him beating Cena would have been so big for his career if he came out and just put boots to asses on John Cena, like really made it a physical match. Or I tweeted this out, and I don't know if anyone ever saw it because I'm like in Twitter jail, but I tweeted out that I wanted Cena's last match to be a gauntlet match.
Yes.
Where we get one last view of Super Cena, and he gets it done against his 5 biggest rivals of his career. And they just bring everyone back for like this big epic like send off. We get one last Super Cena moment, and he goes away forever.
I love it. I honestly think the last match, speaking of Triple H fumbles, I think he should beat Lesnar for his last match. Honestly, like
why would he lose to Lesnar the way he lost?
Why did he squash Cena and then they never had a follow up? Like what the hell?
It's like, oh, it was building up Brock. Brock didn't need to be built up.
Yeah,
Brock didn't need to be built up. Brock, frankly, didn't need to be brought back. But that's another issue.
I agree.
I don't think Brock Lesnar should be wrestling personally, but that's neither here nor there. Okay. Ready for some weird questions? I got questions that I haven't totally prepared you for. I think I prepared you for this one.
Sure.
Is Survivor Series as a show better with LA Knight, Shinsuke Nakamura, Goldust, Al Snow, Maven, Raven, The Big Show, Jelly Roll, or Chavo Guerrero on the card? One of them.
That was a lot of names you just threw at me.
I'll give it to you one more time. I'll give it to you again. Ready?
Sure.
LA Knight, Shinsuke Nakamura, Goldust, Al Snow, Maven, Raven, The Big Show, Jelly Roll, or Chavo Guerrero.
Am I picking which one would make the show the best, or am I saying do any of these guys
one of those guys that moves the needle the most for you? Just stick them on the card anywhere.
I mean, I'll just throw LA Knight in there and call it a day. I don't know. I'll just go with LA Knight. I love LA Knight.
I think the world could always use more of the bizarre one, Goldust.
Yeah, I was thinking about him too.
Rod.
So the crowd always goes wild with LA Knight, right? I mean, obviously he's the guy. But here's what's funny, Steve. I grew up in the era where, Hulk Hogan would take on some nameless guy. And it's just, you always throw these guys on the card that are not necessarily the main stars. And they're just, they're there, right? And they're there for fun and they're there for them to take on. So for me, I still like Shinsuke. I mean, we talked about him earlier. 100%.
Yeah, in my heart, it's Shinsuke. But I mean, wouldn't it be awesome if just in the middle of the WarGames match, it's like a 5-on-4, the heels get an extra guy, Goldust comes out.
That'd be pretty funny.
Like just out of fucking nowhere. I think that'd be amazing.
I agree.
I'd take it. I think that'd be funny. Listen, WWE, I'm available for hire. I'm not tied to my jobs. I'm happy I'll relocate if I have to. All right. Another question for you guys. I'm going to give you some names. Short answers. You just need to tell me, is this guy main event or not? All right. LA Knight, Rod, main event material?
Yes. Oh, so you asked him. My bad.
Oh no, that's fine. I'm torn because I'm going to say no. Like if he was, he'd be there already.
Okay.
I think they literally could have pulled the trigger on him against Roman, and people would have been okay with it. I'm serious.
All right.
He was at his peak hotness.
When he cut Roman off in the middle of his entrance right before the pyro, that was
the exact moment I'm talking about. If he beat Roman in that feud, people would have been okay with it.
Yeah, that was the peak of his powers. That was Apex Mountain for LA Knight. I'll break the tie. I'll say I think he's main event material. Braun Breaker.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We talked about it earlier.
Yep, we did. Javon Evans.
Not yet.
Yeah, a little bit more.
Do you see it though? Do you see
absolutely?
Like, does he have the makeup of a main eventer? Okay.
Yes.
Carmelo Hayes.
Absolutely.
Should be.
It's got
not yet. Not
yet. Though, right?
Not yet, but in the future, yes.
Okay. That's kind of what I'm asking. Is like, does he have the makeup for it?
Yes, absolutely.
And step with that, Trick Williams.
Yes, but it'll be a few years.
Yeah, it'll take a little while. He'll get there, but it'll be a while.
He'll win an IC or United States Championship within the next 3 years.
Okay. All right, Gunther. Is he a main eventer?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, he kind of is.
Is he because he's put there, or do you think he's he's a main event kind of guy?
He's worthy. I think he's in ring is talented enough for him. He has the prestige and the mystique to be a main event guy.
And see, and to Luke's point earlier too, in that he is that technical guy that you put in there. And I agree with you, Luke. I think the reason why I don't like Gunther overall as a character, as a wrestler, is because to me, he's just put there to be what he is, right? And I want more out of my superstars. I want
he plays a role.
He does, and he plays it well. He does.
Yes, he does. I agree.
Gunther is a system quarterback.
I think he's his own system, honestly. I think he's the guy who
Gunther is a product of his opponent. I will stand by that.
Sure.
He's a product.
Yeah, I agree. That's why Gunther Jey Uso Mania sucks, because nobody cares about Gunther, really.
Jey Uso couldn't carry him. You need someone to carry Gunther. He's a system quarterback.
In the build-up, you do need somebody to carry him.
You know who Gunther is? Gunther's Tua.
No.
Is he left-handed?
Probably.
I don't know. He throws chops with both really well. Solo Sikoa, main event material?
No, absolutely not.
Nope.
They wanted him to be, though. They wanted him to be.
Carter.
They wanted him to be.
Mid-Carter, but he's a mid-Carter.
All right,
he's a good antagonist.
Yes.
Yeah, he is. He's a good antagonist, but like a comedy antagonist. You know what I mean? Like he's a real
mid-Carter.
good U.S. title antagonist.
Yes.
Last one for this one. Big Jimmy Uso.
Main
eventer?
Hell no.
Jay's better.
Wow. All right. It's rough.
I love Jimmy, but as a mid-card guy or a tagger.
Rough for Big Jim. All right.
We're gonna tag team for sure. The Usos
tag team Usos are main eventers. I don't think Jay's a main eventer, so I don't think Jimmy's a main eventer.
Yeah, Jay is an upper mid-card guy. He's not a...
Yeah, that's where he belongs. All right. Rod, you've played this with me before. Luke, you have not. I'm going to give you 3 names, and there's a list of them. So, like, this is going to be like a running thing, kind of like this. But
sure,
one of the names you push, they become the world champion. One of them becomes a jobber for life, which means, like, you know, a jobber. They're the...
Yes.
Yeah, they just do the job. Yeah, they're R-Truthed. And one is fired never to wrestle again.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Your first choices: LA Knight, Braun Breaker, and Jacob Fatu. Push one, job one, fire one.
I'll push Fatu.
Wow. Are
I'll
you shocked,
job
Rod?
breaker fire LA Knight. I love Jacob Fatu. I think he's awesome. I think he has a ton of charisma, and I think
That just took me
is
out of, like, he just clocked me. Like, I was like,
Right.
I threw Fatu and I'm like, that's the easy fire, right? Like,
Nope,
was like,
I love
he's
Jacob
easy
Fatu.
fire.
He's awesome.
Wow.
Rod,
I think they honestly made a mistake in not at bringing him in sooner at the peak
he's
of the
hurt,
bloodline
right?
storyline.
Is that what's going on right now? He's hurt. He's like away with an injury or something.
Yeah.
So
He turned
Rod,
into a legit werewolf.
yeah.
Listen, as for me, I guess I would push Knight. I would job breaker and fire Fatu. But here's why I push Knight, right? The crowd pops with Knight. Like the
They do.
crowd
They do.
loves Knight. And
They love LA
you could
Knight.
you could put a title on Knight and no one is going to tell you you're wrong.
Honorable mention for best theme song right now. Right now,
I would
LA
agree.
Knight is in the contention for one of the best theme songs right now.
I will say my one thing about LA Knight is I think in ring he's pretty boring.
I agree.
I think he's got some cool moves. Guy can jump
fine.
like right to the top turnbuckle.
His finisher kind of sucks.
Oh, his finisher's awful, but like that's whatever. It's a diamond cutter. It's fine. All right. 3 more for you. Going to the women's side. Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, or Becky Lynch. Push one, job one, fire one.
I feel like you gotta fire Alexa Bliss here, respectfully. I think I love Becky Lynch.
I don't accept this. I don't
I'm
accept that
pushing Becky
respectfully.
and I'm jobbing
I'm
Charlotte.
offended. I'm offended by your.
I
what-
love
what are
all
you doing?
three. I love
What are
all
you doing?
three.
What are you
Becky's
doing
my
again?
favorite
You
of the
fired
three.
you fired Bliss, and I tuned you out. Say it again.
Alexa's your favorite of those three?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. She's cool. I don't know. I haven't really. Okay, again,
Who
I'm a
you
newer fan.
pushing?
I haven't got to see her. I haven't got to watch her very much. I've watched a
Okay.
decent amount of Charlotte and a decent amount of Becky, and I love Becky. Becky's my favorite of them.
So you're pushing big time Bex.
The man.
All right, Rod.
I mean, I'd push the man again because I love a good Becky Lynch championship story. I really do. She's
She is
she's
so
the
good.
most out of the three. She's got the most to me, and maybe it's just the accent, maybe it's whatever, but
She's
And,
so
uh,
charismatic.
right,
Yeah.
like everything about her screams superstar. You could put her back in the '90s, and she would carry storylines after storyline after storyline.
For
So
sure.
I would push her back again. I would job Alexa Bliss, and I'm done. I don't need Charlotte Flair anymore. Like I don't.
Really?
It's okay.
Yeah.
Again, it's for me.
I like her, man.
I've lived through so many decades of the WWE where I've seen people just stay as sort of figureheads of what they're, what they represent. And I feel like that may be where she's at right now. We're just Charlotte Flair, right? It's name
That's fair.
recognition. You're writing it. You need Alexa Bliss. You need Becky Lynch to carry the torch in the next generation.
Fair.
I am vindictive. So I will
Yeah.
say this. I would push Alexa Bliss. I would job Charlotte just to watch her
Dude,
suffer.
How are you
just to watch
firing
her
Becky
suffer,
Lynch here? She's the best
and-
out of these three
because
right now,
Becky
you know
Lynch
it.
does not need to be a WWE superstar. She could be anything she wants to be. That woman would be on TV.
Okay, so that's how you're
tomorrow.
spinning it.
Like
All right,
literally, she has so much charisma. She'd probably be president. Like
Read that book.
She wrote a book.
she wrote a great book.
I need to
Fantastic.
read it.
All right, here's some more for you. Push, job, fire. Dominic Mysterio, Joe Hendry, the new WWE signing, and AJ Styles.
I'm pushing Dirty Dom. I'm jobbing Hendry and I'm firing Styles. Styles is done, dude. It's over.
Okay,
I feel like
all
I
right.
feel like I'm right there with you. I mean, it's the same answer for me because honestly, yeah, this is almost the Flair aspect of it too. AJ Styles, fantastic for a very long time, right? Somebody that carried the brand with them and everybody, who hasn't got it. But what lately, right? We haven't been talking about him in a meaningful manner in a very
His
long
match
time.
with Cena was good, but it's like that's how he feels like to me at this point. It's like he'll give you a good match, but like he's not around enough anymore to be a meaningful big player for now.
Okay. Let me up the difficulty then, if
Okay.
if you'll allow me to.
Please.
All right. Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, or Seth Rollins.
I'm pushing Seth to the moon. I fucking love that guy. I don't care if he gets hurt all the time. Randy's gonna go because he's done like the other guys. And then, sorry, who's the other one? I forget.
Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, Drew. I love Drew. He'll job, I guess. He'll be an evil little Scottish jester for me or something. But he's great. But I'm definitely pushing Seth. Seth is the man. I love Seth.
Those three are, I mean, thanks, Steve, for totally pushing this one across the thing. You know, I don't know. You push Drew one more time just to see what he can do, just to see if he can hold us, right. Job Seth for a little while. Although I do like your take though, because you got Becky and Seth both up there at the top pushing it.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I hate to say it, and Randy, listen, I know you called me Hot Rod and you made my entire life by recognizing who I was.
Do your boy like that?
What I mean, he's just kind of rolling out now for these farewell type feelings. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm giving you an opportunity to remedy that. And instead you're going to fire him? Rude.
Sorry, Randy.
But will the crowd respond the way they're supposed to, right? That's the point.
I'm going to give my opinion on this one. I'm pushing Orton. I'm jobbing
Don't say what I think
Rollins, and I'm firing McIntyre.
Dude, Drew is so good right now, though.
Drew is good, but we've seen Randy carry it, and Randy still can. We've seen him do it. Drew tried and he didn't.
He's not full time anymore.
That's why I'm pushing him. And then Seth can make anyone look good. Seth would be the Dolph Ziggler 2.0.
Although I will ask, would Randy do well in a final tour like Cena right now?
Yes, he would.
No. You have to do it in a heel way, though. You have to be like the legend killer one more time. But now instead of like killing legends, he's a legend killer.
Yeah, sure.
Like he's
heels don't get a
legendary killer. I would rename him. I'd be like, I'm no longer the legend killer. I'm the legendary killer.
Sure.
Okay.
How do you like that? All right. I got 3 more groups to go through for this.
Okay.
Asuka, Liv Morgan, Tiffany Stratton.
Asuka, Liv Morgan, Tiffany Stratton.
There is a right answer to this for who to push.
I'll push Liv. I love Liv.
That was the wrong answer.
Don't care. I love Liv. I'll job Asuka, I guess, and Tiffany can go bye-bye. I love Tiffy. I think that she needs to turn heel. She needs to be the bitchy Barbie girl again. Face Tiffy is boring.
I think they took that away from her because of what she did to Charlotte Flair.
Maybe.
Personally.
I don't know.
I got a little too lost in the sauce on that one.
I think Liv is excellent. I think her character work she did with Dom was incredible. I think she's really good in ring. I think her presentation is excellent. I think that she could be like the top woman in the company in an alternate reality. Like she's amazing to me. Asuka's really cool. I think she'd be a great jobber. And then Tiffy has to
Asuka, again, aura in droves, has the coolest nickname in WWE, the Empress of Tomorrow. Literally, like chills. When she comes out, she's got the face paint going on, and her in-ring ability is second to none. Rod, who you pushing? Who you jobbing? Who you firing?
This is essentially the toughest one of all of them so far. So there's Asuka, there's Tiffany, and then who was the third?
Liv.
How did I forget? Because that's the one I was going to push again. I agree with you, Luke. I think Liv, that whole storyline with her and Rhea and Dom and the Dirty Dom era, it just it made everybody cringe, right? You're looking for reactions.
So good.
Right? You're looking for reactions in this industry. You're looking for guttural, just visceral responses to things. And Liv brought that on a weekly basis, right? Every time, every steal away with Dom, every time she took, and people either hated it or they ate it up, right? And so you could get that back with her. Like that's not gone. Yep. That's still there, right? I hate to say it, but Tiffy time was fun, but I almost feel like Tiffy time is done. Like I don't know that
her reign was very poorly booked.
100%, 1,000%. So I think people would miss her the least out of everybody out there. And Asuka, I'd job her.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Shinsuke Nakamura, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens.
I'm pushing KO easy here, personally. I love Kevin Owens. Love him. And I'll job Shin, and I'll give her to Sammy. Sorry, Sammy.
I'm pushing Shinsuke. I'm jobbing Sammy, and I'm firing KO.
How do you not like Kevin Owens, Steve?
Because Sammy, as a jobber, could elevate the talent. He elevates.
KO does that too. His feud
I
with
don't
Cody
like
was
him.
amazing.
I'm not a huge fan. I think he's fine. I think he's good.
You didn't
I
like
could
that feud
live
with him
without
at the Rumble? That wasn't a great match. The Saturday Night main
It was great.
main event
It was
thing where
great.
he
I just don't want him to be a
title.
champion. I like Shinsuke Nakamura. I'm
Okay.
biased. I like his entrance.
I love this entrance.
Rod.
Let's
Help
see.
me out here.
Let's job Shinsuke. As much as I love him, let's fire Sammy. Yeah, and I guess I'll push KO. Like
Rod has great taste.
Steve, listen, to your defense, I do love Shinsuke. I would love to see him
I like
get
Shinsuke.
another title, but I don't know that the crowd is ready for him to be the ultimate
You know
face.
what?
Like,
Everyone criticizes Triple H till it's time to push Shinsuke Nakamura, and then none of you pull the trigger.
hey, I'm okay with it. Like I'm not mad at it if it happens.
I'm gonna say it, Steve. I don't think Shin's ever touching a world title again.
I
That's,
agree.
that's just such a shame. One more, and this is it. This is the big one. Cody, Punk, and Reigns.
Roman to the moon, Cody jobber, Punk and go.
Yeah, I think we've seen Cody already, so we can job Cody. Punk, got to keep him. And here's the thing about oh my god, now I'm blanking on the third one. See, this is what happens. You send so many of them to me.
You're firing Roman, dude.
Well,
Come
no,
on.
okay. I see. That's why I forgot the third name. See, Steve tosses these names at us. No, you're not firing Roman. Punk has already been gone.
Yes.
Punk can go away again, right? It's okay for him to go away again. Nobody's gonna say, Punk needs to stay, because there's a lot of people saying, why did Punk come back?
Ooh.
I don't know
Really?
who's saying that, honestly.
So who are you pushing?
I am pushing not Roman. I'm jobbing Roman again. I'm
Pushing Cody?
Yeah, Cody needs another
Come
run.
on.
Cody's
Think
in a
about
run.
Think about how effective and stuff, right? You said it, Luke, when Cody told his story, when Cody finished his story, then everybody was like, what's next? But here's the thing, right?
He's been good.
We're about to find out. We could find out another what's next, right? Cody's next chapter of his story, because everybody loves Cody Rhodes.
I'm pushing Roman, jobbing Punk, firing Cody.
That's fair. I understand. Punk's
can
great.
get
That's where I stand on it. And unfortunately, my friends, we've reached the sad part in the show. But we have to say goodbye to everybody. For everyone who's watching this live, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being a part of this with us. If you're new and you've stayed with us this long, I mean, at this point, you might as well subscribe. You hung out with us for an hour and a half. I mean, it's the least you could do. Like the video, share the video if you're so willing. Tell your friends about us. Tell us how good we are. Tell us how terrible that we are, and that they have to watch it just to see for themselves, because that's what we do here. Thank you all so much for being here. Please like, subscribe, share. Follow us on Twitter. Follow my two special co-hosts on this episode. Their Twitter handles are right there on the screen. It's a wrap for us, guys, here on Popcorn and Root Beer. Another amazing show. Until next time, for Rod Villagomez and Luke Sawhook, my name is Stephen Lawson. Until next time, keep it in between.